Seoul Land 202 Original Novel DouLuo DaLu. Chapter 235. Purple Demon Eyes Final Realm, Boundless. TL by Bagelson. The way his body followed the swelling seas made Tang San feel as if his body had fully blended into the ocean. Without using spirit abilities, even without using spirit power protection, he could still clearly feel his body in the process of unloading the force. The waves were just like an enormous force attacking, and his whole body kept exactly the same frequency as this force, merging into it. Thus, the attack his body had to endure would decrease considerably. This natural reaction was like a skill given him by the waves. It was like this when facing the charging waves, and it would naturally also be the same when facing other energy form strikes. Passing each day in such pain that they wished they would die, undoubtedly pushed the potential of the Shrek 7 Devils one step further, and forced them to cultivate spirit power with all their might even when not enduring the attack of the waves, to recover the harm they'd suffered as quickly as possible. Spirit power was no longer just an energy that existed within them, beaten by the waves, it merged into their meridians, muscles, and bones. A body refining method like this was definitely extremely overbearing, it would definitely be impossible to resist without great willpower and considerable strength. But if they persevered, the benefits to the body would also be equally substantial. Tang San's spirit power was now already at the 79th rank, having already reached it by the 5th month of tidal body refining. He was currently attacking his 8th bottleneck. The realm of spirit DouLuo was already beckoning to him. Hong giant waves bombarded Tang San almost without respite, but feeling the mysterious heaven skill fluctuating within his body each time a giant wave washed over him, Tang San gradually had a kind of clear inspiration. It seemed as if he was no longer human, but rather a part of this furious wave, a portion of heaven and earth. His whole body was already completely blended into this marvelous sensation. The feeling of surging waves attacking him disappeared, and he seemed to transform into the waves, his senses strengthening several-fold, so much so that even the motion of each droplet within the waves was grasped in his mental world. At this moment it was just sunrise, a smear of marble white appearing on the distant horizon. Raising his head with familiarity, gazing at that purple flash on the horizon, Tang San's eyes suddenly brightened. An unprecedented feeling filled his whole body, explosions resounding in his mind. In that instant, he no longer felt his own body, but all of Sea God Island seemed to be within his field of view. Everything around him turned completely clear. Whether the state of his comrades, the attack of the waves, or little details on Sea God Island, right now it was before him regardless of big or small, imprinted on his mind. Tang San's blue eyes turned completely purple-golden. That light, seemingly even deeper than the ocean, shot towards the horizon that merged water and sky. Suddenly, Tang San discovered that the purple energy that had just disappeared again grew stronger from the horizon, connecting with his eyes. He and that purple energy were like the supports of a bridge, connecting, releasing. The scenery before his eyes changed yet again. No longer only limited to Sea God Island, but rather apparently covering the whole ocean. In his eyes, the sea water unexpectedly had 5 gorgeous colors. There was faint shallow blue, deep black, and also crystalline clear blue. And even the smallest variations in these colors were unable to escape Tang San's senses. Between his eyebrows, just above the golden trident brand, a blue speck of light quietly grew. The triangular vast sea cosmic shroud shot out, floating in front of Tang San. All the sparkling and translucent light seemed to merge together with that vast sea cosmic shroud in this moment, and Tang San's senses grew stronger yet again. He unconsciously closed his eyes, but that moving scene still appeared in his mind. Even without the need to see with his eyes, he could still clearly grasp any change in the ocean. The purple-golden color retreated from his eyes, returning to blue. But this time, it was a blue as deep as the night sky. The color deepened, and even Tang San's short hair turned dark blue. A difficult-to-describe energy fluctuation burst out with his head as center, forming a dazzling ring of light that spread outward. Even Sea God DouLuo Bosixi sitting cross-legged on the reef couldn't help being moved. Floating up, she attentively watched the halo Tang San released with bright eyes, until it disappeared in the distance. Tang San's head suddenly grew transparent, and within could vaguely be seen a glittering skull. The vast sea cosmic shroud quietly grew smaller in front of him, and in a moment's work, it had become the size of a chicken egg, then again charged towards Tang San's head, piercing inside along the trident brand. A raging roar erupted from Tang San's mouth as the vast sea cosmic shroud entered him. In that instant, the originally incomparably raging waves suddenly quieted down without the slightest warning. But the next instant, incomparably enormous explosive sounds abruptly erupted, and the waves no longer came from in front, but rather swept up from below. Soaring up amidst Tang San's roar, rushing into the air as if hiding the sky, erupting with countless sparkling splashes. One roar was actually like this. The 6 people behind Tang San were already staring dumbfounded, they had absolutely no idea what was happening with Tang San. The golden trident brand brightened at this moment, a square screen of light gushed out from Tang San's forehead and shattered with a resounding crack, turning into specks of light that merged back into his body. In the depths of his mind, that familiar voice resounded for the first time. Surpassed trial expectations, spiritual awakening, accepted the influence of that vast consciousness, skull spirit bone forcefully evolved, not shattering with special energy infusion. Third trial, tidal body refining, completed above quota, sea god affinity increased 15%, overall affinity at 25%. On the first day of the 12th month of the third trial, tidal body refining, Tang San suddenly completed the trial. There was another person whose forehead spat out a screen of light along with him, Xiao Wu. The blood-colored light screen shattered, turning into specks of light that merged into Xiao Wu's body. She still obtained the notice of rewards superimposing. Xiao Wu's trial was very simple, that was accompanying Tang San to pass all trials. As long as Tang San was next to her as he passed the trials, she would naturally also pass hers. The rumbling waves began to strike once again, but this time it was already as different as black and white to Tang San. Before those waves attacked him, they would unexpectedly be pushed aside by an intangible force, basically without falling on him. The same circumstances also appeared for Xiao Wu. Clearly, after passing this tidal body refining trial, the raging waves' impasse would no longer be able to cause them any harm. Slowly opening his eyes, Tang San's irises had already completely turned dark blue. The world before his eyes was different, everything had a feeling of being extremely layered. That wasn't just from sight, but even more from spiritual force. As if his spiritual force had already become one with the ocean, the same feeling as when he used the blue-silver domain in the forest. Only the present feeling was even more clear than when using blue-silver domain. Even someone like sea god DouLuo DaLu didn't know what had happened to Tang San, but Tang San himself knew. The reason why he could pass the trial in advance really wasn't because he had already reached the time required for being battered by the waves, but rather because after the purple demon eye he took from the Tang sect had been cultivated for so many years, it had reached the final boundary. The 4 great boundaries of the purple demon eye were, survey, detailed, mustard seed, boundless. Since Tang San received the wisdom condensing skull bone, the purple demon eye had automatically risen to the mustard seed boundary. But from then on, even though he still insisted on cultivating every day, the purple demon eye no longer showed any signs of improving in the slightest. But Tang San's years of effort hadn't been in vain, at this moment he understood why the purple demon eye had never been able to advance. The cause was very simple, it was that wisdom condensing skull bone that helped him cultivate to the mustard seed realm. Even though the wisdom condensing skull bone helped him raise the purple demon eye, fact was that this skull itself prevented the purple demon eye from continuing to advance. The purple chi Tang San absorbed every day was restricted within the skull and unable to be released, thus being constantly compressed. But just today, inadvertently, a peculiar inspiration was born in Tang San's heart from the pounding waves. That inspiration not only let his mysterious heaven skill rise another level, it simultaneously also caused the purple chi compressed in the skull bone to erupt. Regardless of any cultivation, after reaching a certain boundary, it wasn't something that could be advanced relying only on effort, a moment of inspiration was even more important. In the sudden process of awakening, the purple demon eye had finally stepped across from mustard seed to boundless, reaching an all-new realm. Inspiration was something very mysterious. Even Tang San himself absolutely couldn't replicate this experience. But the result for him was still an incomparably pleasant surprise. Purple demon eye rose to the boundless realm, and Tang San's spiritual force rose exponentially. If his spiritual force was like a spider web before, then his current spiritual force was like an impenetrable torrent of mercury. He also finally understood that, after purple demon eye was cultivated to its highest level, it was no longer a case of seeing with the naked eye, but rather with the mind's eye. No illusions could make you lose your mind's eye. Tang San was convinced that, even if he again met with Jian Rongxiu's angelic domain, he would still be able to clearly see everything in that golden light. After the purple demon eye reached the boundless realm, there was no longer any energy or object that could block his mind's eye. This inspiration was extremely important to Tang San. He hadn't endured 1 year of being battered by waves in vain. The final evolution of Purple Demon Eye and the special awakening of Mysterious Heaven skill circulation made him coincidentally break through the 80th rank bottleneck. Of course, Tang San was also lucky. After the Purple Demon Eye rose to the boundless realm, the spiritual force in his mind plus the Purple Demon Eyes was no longer something that the mind-condensing skull bone could repress. This led to the mind-condensing skull bone suddenly fracturing. This was also why Tang San heard that dignified voice say it was forcefully evolved. Ordinarily, the power of spirit bones was locked at the instant the spirit beast died. Only external spirit bones possessed the chance to evolve. This was also the reason why the value of external spirit bones was second only to 100,000-year spirit bones. Even though Tang San's mind-condensing skull bone was pretty good, it was still impossible for it to evolve. Consequently, its only fate when Tang San's spiritual force exploded was to break. Spiritual force suddenly promoting and the skull spirit bone suddenly shattering might not actually take Tang San's life, but it would inevitably cause him extremely serious wounds, even to the extent of brain damage. But just at this moment, that mysterious vast sea cosmic shroud appeared, automatically turning into a peculiar energy that merged with Tang San's breaking skull bone, completing this forceful evolution. The quality of the spirit bone also subsequently rose. But Tang San vaguely sensed that his skull spirit bone really wasn't a 100,000-year spirit bone, but neither was it any weaker than one. After that moment of fusion, the skull reformed, and all the abilities possessed by the vast sea cosmic shroud consequently also blended into Tang San's skull bone. Even his purple god light seemed to have undergone some transformation. What pleasant advantages this newly formed vast sea skull bone could give Tang San was something he had to slowly ascertain in later battles and cultivation. With a clanging sound, the 5 sunken silver bands holding Tang San opened simultaneously. The muscles on his back contracted unconsciously, sucking him against the sunken silver pillar. At the same time he threw out a blue silver emperor without the slightest hesitation, twisting around Xiaowu rolling in the waves. His heel tapped against the pillar, and he leapt up, bringing Xiaowu to soar towards the shore. Sea God DouLuo Dalu watched Tang San arrive in front of her, and her face revealed a knowing smile. Congratulations! Even though I don't know just what happened to you, or how you achieved it at this age, I can be certain that your spiritual force has already risen to the same level as mine. No. Tang San looked somewhat lifelessly at Bo Sixi, because the voice he heard didn't come from Bo Sixi's mouth, but rather from within his mind. This was telepathy? Yes, this is telepathy. You only need to focus your mind to sense my thoughts. Of course, this is something that will only be usable among spirit masters with the same level of spiritual force as us. If you don't want to make your own thoughts known, you can use spiritual force to seal your mind. Thus nobody will be able to examine your thoughts again. The same mental boundary as Sea God DouLuo Bo Sixi. Even if the purple demon eye had advanced to the final boundless level, Tang San was still shocked because of what Bo Sixi said. Vaguely, he felt as if he had opened a special door. What existed behind this door was something that still needed constant exploration. Thank you, Senior. Tang San bowed and here felt salute to Bo Sixi. Bo Sixi smiled slightly. It's nothing, it's my duty. According to the present circumstances, there shouldn't be a problem for your partners to pass this third trial. Since you've already completed it, then next it will be up to you to look after them. I should return to Sea God Hall. Yes. Tang San answered deferentially. Senior, I've always had a question. May I ask for your guidance? Bo Sixi's expression shifted. Speak. Tang San said resolutely. What I want to ask is, just what is Sea God Affinity Degree? Bo Sixi's calm eyes erupted with dazzling splendor. If it was the previous Tang San, he might not even been able to endure this gaze, but the present he faced it calmly. His deep blue eyes, like whirlpools, accepted the light thrown out by Bo Sixi. I'm also unable to give you answers regarding Sea God Affinity. But what I can tell you is that you really can't possess 100% Sea God Affinity by completing the Sea God's 9 trials. But 100% affinity score, not just me, every person on Sea God Island is looking forward to it. What is your current affinity score? Tang San said. 25%. Bo Sixi was secretly shocked. 25? Then that means, after you completed the trial just now, you received a very high affinity score. Tang San said. The first and second trials were both 5%, but just now was 15. Bo Sixi drew a deep breath, as if calming her racing heart. Very good, 25%. Keep working hard. I believe you will succeed. Since the Lord Sea God gave you the Sea God's 9 trials, it means you have the chance to gain 100% affinity. Finished saying this, Bo Sixi didn't wait for Tang San to speak up again. Floating up, she turned into a red cloud and disappeared without a trace. Sea God affinity score. Tang San mumbled quietly, his gaze once again shooting towards the boundless ocean. In his incisive mental world, his thoughts revolved at high speed. From what Devil Spirit Great White Shark King Xiao Bai as well as Bo Sixi said, he already understood a great many things. Even if he still couldn't be completely certain, if this was true, then it would undoubtedly be an exceptional opportunity for him. The last month passed. As everyone finished the 3rd trial and stood on the mountain reef, everyone felt as if a lifetime had gone by. The ones among them that felt it most deeply were undoubtedly the ones who had endured most bitterly, Ning Rongrong and Oscar. Ning Rongrong had clearly thinned a size, and her originally fair skin had turned a healthy wheat color, her graceful and noble temperament replaced by a thriving heroic vigor. She no longer had a trace of that support-type spirit master feeling, and rather seemed like a battle spirit master. Oscar's situation was hardly any better than hers. His skin was tanned, hair and beard both tangled, looking just like a savage, but his eyes were a lot sharper than before. The feeling Tang San had experienced of his body turning into force was something each of them had experienced to varying degrees. And even though everyone had been in such pain that they'd rather die throughout the duration of this year, the benefits they had obtained were undoubtedly also enormous. Even so, if they could choose to come anew, perhaps none of them would be willing. Even decades later, whenever they recalled this experience of tidal body refining, they still couldn't help trembling, enough to compare with Grandmaster's original hell training. Along with the screen of light from Ning Rongrong's forehead shattering, the 3rd trial, tidal body refining was complete. I can't go on. We really have to rest a while. Oscar plopped to the ground. His body currently wasn't completely tired out, but his mind was already at its limit. Not just him, besides Tang San and Xiao Wu, each of them felt the same. Each and every one collapsed to the ground in disorder, so much that they didn't even want to see what the 4th trial was. Indeed, starting from the day they arrived at Sea God Island, all the way until now, a full 3 years had already gone by. Even though in these 3 years, each of them had made qualitative leaps in strength, they had also endured inhuman suffering. Everything they had gone through in the past 3 years was even more than they had endured in the more than 20 years before that. Gains had to be paid for. 3 years had gone by, and the torment their bodies and hearts had endured had also finally erupted. If they didn't recuperate, with Oscar and Ning Rongrong's weak bodies as support spirit masters, they might even go insane. Watching his comrades' tired expressions, Tang San said, "This time we'll make some time to rest. Everyone really are too tired. I just looked at the subject for the 4th trial. If everyone's are the same as mine, then, it won't be as painful as the last 3. These words immediately evoked the interest of the others. Dai Mubai, using Zhu Zuking's thighs as a pillow, looked at Tang San. Little San, what's your 4th trial? Wait and I'll look at mine. Tang San said. My 4th trial is, Apex Shark Whale Battle, helping the Devil Spirit Great White Shark flock to kill the Evil Spirit Orca King from the Evil Spirit Orca Pack. Dai Mubai crawled wearily from the ground. Mine is Shark Whale Battle. Help the Devil Spirit Great White Shark flock. Kill at least 10 Evil Spirit Orcas. Oscar raised his hand. 10 for me too. Zhu Zuking said. I'm to kill 8 Evil Spirit Orcas. Ma Hongjun said. I'm the same as Boss Dai and Little Ao. Ning Rongrong's expression was a bit strange. My mission is different from yours. It's not to kill Evil Spirit Orcas. It's to guarantee the Devil Spirit Great White Shark King doesn't die. Everyone looked at each other, and Oscar smiled. Looking at this, and according to having 1 year to complete the mission, it wouldn't be a problem for us to rest for half a year. Tang San nodded with a slight smile. It seems so. We might as well return to Seahorse City to rest properly. Once everyone feels your condition is more or less adjusted, we'll go look for Xiao Bai. I guess these so-called evil spirit orcas should be Xiao Bai and the others' mortal enemies. This 4th trial is a chance for us to repay Xiao Bai. Ma Hongjun grinned. Excellent. I haven't killed living things for quite a while, my hands are all itchy. This time we can finally fight for real, it certainly feels good. I wonder if there's some kind of reward for killing some evil spirit orcas above the quota. Dai Mubai's eyes brightened. There's a real chance for that. Once we've completed our missions, it'll be up to our own skill. Fatty, how about we compare who can kill a few more later on? Ma Hongzhen somewhat resentfully said. Boss Dai, I've told you so many times, don't keep calling me fatty. I'm already slim now. I won't oppose it if you want to call me lady killer, but the word fatty is completely unrelated to me. Even though he had already lost weight, his comrades were still used to calling him fatty, causing Ma Hongzhen to frequently have to correct them. Is none of you a bit worried about the difficulty of the trial? Bai Chenxiang couldn't help asking from the side. Ma Hongzhen laid there immensely self-satisfied. If you endured the suffering of the tidal body refining, you would understand that there's nothing more frightening than that. When facing evil spirit Orcus, you'd only die at worst, that'd still feel far better than the pain worse than death of the tidal body refining. Even more so when we're hardly a soul army going to battle, we still have Xiao Bai's lot. With third brother's strength completely recovered, what do we still have to fear? What I'm currently most thirsty for is battle. Even though they hadn't even seen what the evil spirit Orcus looked like, it could be assumed that they wouldn't be much stronger than the devil spirit great white sharks. They should both be first-rate sea spirit beasts. At least from the surface of the trial, this test shouldn't be as difficult as the first three. For the Shrek 7 devils, what was most important right now was recovery. After resting on the shore for a full 2 days, the 7 devils plus Bai Chenxiang set out back to Seahorse City. When they returned, Seahorse DouLuo wasn't there, but the purple-clothed sea spirit masters received them enthusiastically, their original residence was preserved. Everyone relaxed in different ways. For instance, Fatty liked bothering Bai Chenxiang, teasing her. Even if Fatty still hadn't completely passed all the trials, Bai Chenxiang currently didn't reject him as much. Between laughter and quarreling, their emotions warmed imperceptibly. And Oscar and Ning Rongrong seemed to relax a bit. Ning Rongrong pulled little Ao to stroll in Seahorse City, eating some of the local specialties there, using the things brought in their spirit tools to trade for some local goods. The sea spirit masters in Seahorse City were completely straightforward, and interacting was effortless. Especially when those sea spirit masters saw the brands on their foreheads, they would be extremely respectful. Dai Mubai and Zhu Zuqing did just the opposite. These two always stayed in the hotel, and whether what they were up to was something inappropriate for children, the others never learned. After all, who dared go peep at Boss Dai's private affairs? And Zhu Zuqing's explanation was, in order to keep Dai Mubai from going out and attracting flowers, causing widespread disasters for sea spirit master girls, it was preferable to stay at home. Tang San and Xiaowu were yet another scene. After returning to Seahorse City, Tang San went straight into closed-door state, and Xiaowu was the same. Because he knew that he was different from his companions. Each trial he had to confront was the most difficult. Even more when he wanted to resurrect Xiaowu as soon as possible, he absolutely couldn't delay. Even though his spirit power was now already rank 80 and needed a spirit ring to keep advancing, constant cultivation would still save up effect. Besides, because of inspiration promoting the purple demon eye, as well as merging all the different attributes of the vast sea cosmic shroud into the skull bone, Tang San needed to familiarize himself with it all. In order to become an outstanding team core, he first of all had to understand his own strength. Even if the fourth trial might not seem so difficult, Tang San still knew that these trials would never be simple. Passing absolutely wouldn't be easy. Especially when he had to kill a target like the evil spirit Orca King. Judging by Xiao Bai's strength, this evil spirit Orca King was bound to be 100,000-year level spirit beast. Tang San also vaguely felt that this 100,000-year spirit beast seemed to be something the sea god secretly arranged for him. Because, what he currently lacked, wasn't it a spirit ring? At the same time he could also be certain that this evil spirit Orca King should be even stronger than Xiao Bai, otherwise the trial wouldn't have him help Xiao Bai. Rongrong's trial was even to safeguard Xiao Bai's life. Xiao Wu would release her soul every day to accompany Tang San to cultivate for a time, returning to Tang San's body when she felt the strength of her soul starting to wear. Passing the constant tempering of the third trial, Xiao Wu's soul was a lot more condensed than at the start, and could also stay in her body longer. Especially after Tang San's purple demon eye rose to the boundless realm, Tang San clearly discovered that the strength of Xiao Wu's soul had also risen qualitatively, influenced by his qualitative change in spiritual force. By now, Xiao Wu could stay in her body for 2 hours in a day without risking harm, and was moreover no longer limited to once. As long as the time didn't surpass 2 hours, she wouldn't be injured. Xiao Wu's soul growing stronger undoubtedly had enormous benefit for her future resurrection. Tang San now thirsted to complete the fourth trial, because as long as he could pass, his sea god affinity could rise by at least 5%, and back then Xiao Bai said that, as long as his sea god affinity score reached 30%, he could voluntarily release the sea god's light to help Xiao Wu's soul fuse with her body. With this sea god's light, all that remained was for him to cultivate to the title DouLuo realm. To Tang San, what was more important than Xiao Wu's resurrection? This time, the Shrek 7 devils could be said to have completely rested up. What surprised everyone was that, in these 3-month-long period of rest, their cultivation speed actually wasn't slow at all. It seemed to be because of their always taut minds and bodies relaxing, the benefit of sorrow turning to joy. At present, the spirit power of the Shrek 7 devils was Evil Eye White Tiger Dai Mu Bai, 78th rank power attack type battle spirit sage. Including the 2 ranks from passing the second and third trials, plus more than a year of cultivation, Dai Mu Bai had advanced altogether 4 ranks of spirit power. Big Sausage Uncle Oscar, 75th ranked food type utility spirit sage. Food type spirits were after all difficult to cultivate, to raise 3 ranks in more than a year, even though 2 ranks came from rewards, still made Oscar very satisfied. Thousand Hands Azura Tang San, 80th ranked control type battle spirit sage. Due to Tang San not being rewarded with a rank with each trial, his comrade's spirit power was gradually catching up. Evil Fire Phoenix Ma Hung Jun, 76th ranked power attack type battle spirit sage. Relying on the benefits of the 10-headed fierce Yang Serpent Neodon, plus the superiority of the Phoenix spirit, he had finally surpassed Oscar, no longer the weakest in spirit power among the 7 devils. Soft Bones Demon Rabbit Xiao Wu, spirit power unclear, body strength increased, trial rewards superimposed. 9 Treasure Glazed Tile Ning Rong Rong, 76th rank support type utility spirit sage. Hell Civet Zhu Zuking, 77th rank agility attack type battle spirit sage. At present her spirit power was second only to Tang San and Dai Mu Bai. 3 months rest let the Shrek 7 devils return to peak condition, whether mentally or physically. Without outside pressure, they understood that even with another half year of bitter cultivation, it might be very difficult for their spirit power to rise further. Thus, it would be better to complete the mission ahead of time. They'd already been away for no short time, and they still didn't know the difficulty of the trials coming later on. After talking it over, they decided to find the devil spirit Great White Shark Flock, and complete the 4th trial, Shark Whale Battle. Readying the essentials, the 7 devils prepared to set out. Originally Ma Hung-jun didn't agree to let Bai Chenxiang come along. After all, facing formidable sea spirit beasts was extremely dangerous. But no matter what was said, Bai Chenxiang insisted. The reason she gave was that she wanted to be a scout, explaining that she would be unlikely to be in danger at high altitude. Helplessly, Ma Hung-jun could only agree. Even though Sea God Island was large, with everyone's strength they very soon reached the outermost edges of the island. Setting foot on that soft silvery beach, everyone couldn't help sharing knowing smiles. 3 years ago, when they landed here with nervous hearts, which of them could have thought that in just 3 years, they would all have gone from 60-something rank strength to presently being more than 75th ranked on average, truly reaching the degree of Spirit Master experts? Tang San had even reached a frightening 80 ranks. In fact, this year he was still only 24. In the whole history of the Spirit Master world, his should be the most powerful on record. Ends here. Good luck you guys and girls. .ca